Later in this video I will be very frustrated because I'll crash my drone. The crash site will be on the other side of the creek above a small cliff, not accessible from our location. But tomorrow I will be very happy again because we will hike down from the other side of the gorge. We filmed everything and you can see it at the end of this video. Frustration and happiness can be so close. For a high contrast, you need both brightness and darkness. The third thing I observed over the years, which all super successful gold prospectors do, is they think pretty rational. But, well, we all think rational, right? But wait a minute. Do we really think rational? Or are we rather repeating the smattering others have told us? I'm sure you guys think rational. You don't believe in werewolves, right? It's cold out here, so let's go. Let's warm up by the fire. There are some really nice people waiting for us.
Hey, Freunde des Goldwaschens, Raffi am Apparat.
Hallo aus Bayern, von Thorsten Marx.
Hello guys, this is Wes and Tom from the Hippie Explorer.
And it's great to be part of the YouTube community.
Hi, I'm Svenja. I'm here with my brother, my father and my aunt. She's in fact my godmother and Schwendy's wife. Come, sit with us by the fire. Let's talk about more gold prospecting wisdoms.
Liebe Goldsucher.
Servus, Goldsucher.
Ciao Schwendi, un carissimo saluto da Goldoro e ti auguro tantissima fortuna e felicità.
Hola amigos, soy Jörg de Gran Canaria.
Hello and welcome everyone from Bonnie, Scotland.
Servus Freunde des Kanals
All
der
you people
Natur.
of Switzerland and around the world, this is Brian Mitchell from the Matsu Valley in the
Hello,
beautiful
Andreas.
state of Alaska in the United
Hello
States.
to all my friends in Switzerland and around the world. This is Charlie from California.
I'm just a young girl, so why should I talk about gold prospecting? Well, I started with gold prospecting about 12 years ago. Since then, I was out in the creeks a lot with my family.
Oi Svenja.
2018, we were prospecting in Alaska. We found more than 2 ounces in just 9 days. So I know a few things about prospecting, and I know what thinking rational means for a prospector. Schwendi asked himself in the intro if he really thinks rational. The first step to thinking rational is to understand that our brain isn't as rational as we think. Especially you boys. I mean, boys are great, but sometimes, oh my god. My dad, my brother and Uncle Schwendi are really excellent prospectors. But sometimes you should see Schwendi when the rock is a bit too heavy or he pinches his finger. Schwendi should know that the rock isn't impressed by shouting or cursing.
You are absolutely right, Svenja. My friend, did you also feel some little emotional fireworks in the first part of this video? I did. This is how our brain works, and that's absolutely beautiful. But if we want to be rational, we have to be aware of that. The part of our brain which manages body functions and emotions is by far the fastest and strongest. The rational part is slow and with a low voice. But the emotional brain also controls our body functions. And our body sensors are a backdoor to enter the emotional brain. We can relax it by deep breathing, walking around, calming down. You all know that, but it's really fascinating that science can explain this also by the brain structure. It's really true and very important to be aware of.
Often, after cooling down, the problem can be solved by doing it the proper way.
If the thinking and emotional parts of our brain constantly disagree, it feels terrible. We are stuck. On the other hand, if they agree 100%, we have maximum motivation and power. And this feels great, like a clean drug, like a flow state. But it can take some time to get there. If you watched episodes 1 and 2, now everything falls into place, right?
We also confuse sometimes our wishes with the reality. Schwendi will tell you a story about that.
Hey! Es ist im Film, gell? Well, thank you, Svenja, for your very nice introduction. Yeah, let's talk about Alaska. Wasn't it cool, right? Yeah. Cheers. Cheers. On to the Busby family and the friends of chicken. Cheers. Cheers. Well, as Svenja mentioned, we have to focus on reality. We have to align to the reality. And a good example, one day in Alaska, we were prospecting, and then we thought it looks pretty good upstreams, and so we shoveled away a lot of overburden. And next day we wanted to process the good stuff with the high banker, but at noon we were very disappointed because we shoveled for hours into the high banker and there was just no gold. Maybe a little bit, but not way less than we expected. And so somehow we did not, our wish was that it was better upstreams because there it was easier, there was not so much overburden. And downstream there was a huge bank with a lot of overburden and bushes and so. And it didn't look very good to work, but then we tested. And man, these test pans, they were just awesome. We had in every pan, maybe half a gram of gold or something. And so we decided, it was a tough decision because we prepared the spot upwards, but afternoon we decided to proceed downwards. And it's unbelievable, but in only a few hours, the afternoon, we found more than half an ounce of gold. And we had this success because we aligned to reality. So that's very important for gold prospecting. You have to test, to observe. It's not gold prospecting is not a constant task. You always have to align again. And so that's rational in context of gold prospecting. A good friend of us is a geologist and an excellent mineral prospector and gold prospector. We were prospecting a lot together. And he also said it's the scientific way of thinking. Just watch and observe. But what can we watch and observe? In episode 2 I mentioned the so-called duck test. We have to look out for indicators for a high likelihood to find a gold deposit. In bedrock traps like crevices, caulks, etc., the likelihood is high. Next is creek topography, like bends, etc. Problem: you have to be able to imagine the creek during serious flooding and during periods of thousands of years. Another problem: classical spots or open bedrock is often already mined by others. Solution. We also pay a lot of attention to rocks, cobbles and the concentrate. The shape and orientation of rocks and cobbles indicate how old a spot is, and the concentrate indicate if there is light or heavy stuff. But that's all only very sketchy, because the indicators can be very creek specific. If you show me some concentrates from a Swiss creek, I can pretty sure tell you from which area the concentrate is. In my home area, I can sometimes even tell you the creek. So if we are new in a region or a creek, we first have to know which indicators we have to pay attention to. In case you are bored to death, watch what we also experienced in Alaska. Good scientists often have also a great sense of humor. At the end of the day, we want to have fun, right?
Did you see all the 3 episodes from Schwendi's Alaska gold prospecting videos 2019? We also have tons of videos of our Alaska trip 2018, and we plan to continue Schwendi's Alaska gold series with the footage from 2018. If you want to see them, subscribe the channel and stay tuned for more Alaska gold videos, Alaska gold prospecting on Myers Fork. And don't forget to press the like button at all the videos on the channel. If you don't like the videos, feel free to press the dislike button twice.
Something else which is also kind of rational is thinking out of the box, being open-minded. For example, my wife, one day we were prospecting in a creek, and I finished a spot, or I thought I finished it. I was not thorough enough because I thought there is no gold there. But fortunately my wife observed better than me, and it's really true. She found 7 grams of nuggets afterwards at the spot where I already prospected. So this was, and it's because she was open-minded. She was not. She didn't have a fixed idea like me that there is no gold. She just watched, just tested. And another story. Rita and me, one day we were prospecting, in fact in the same creek, and at the end of the day we found one of our largest nuggets very high in the gravel. It was maybe a meter above the bedrock or so. And we were completely shocked because it was so unexpected. Normally you think when you are cleaning crevices in the bedrock or so, you wait for the gold to show up. But there in the midst of the gravel was this nugget. And if we did not observe and watch, we wouldn't have found it. In fact, my first large nugget I found 2006. Was at a spot completely unlogical. So yeah, it seems the larger gold nuggets, they tend to lie at spots where there is not much smaller gold, like kind of unlogical spots or something. How could I call it? Very rarely there is really a good placer and the large nugget is within the placer. It's often at another spot. So you have to, that's also something Hannes said, you have to be open-minded and have some ideas. That's also rational. There is no such thing as an unlogical spot to find gold. First, because the correct English word is illogical, not unlogical. And second, if the spot is illogical to us, it simply means we don't understand the logic behind it. We very rarely see all facts of a gold deposit in all dimensions of space and time. So all we can do is work with likelihoods and then test and observe and fail until we succeed. Let me give you a live example of a failure right now.
It's nass.
Maybe you noticed that throughout the whole video, it was everything somehow connected to doing things together. This, my friends, is the topic of episode 4.